This is Julie Muller, your technology trainer here at Weatherford College, and this is part one of a two-part series on the workflow for math instructors working with the base courses that we already have in Canvas. Part one is going to focus on creating your master courses, which you can do immediately after finished training. And part two will focus on the live courses that are available to you closer to the start of term. So in this video, we're going to show you how to get into your into the Commons area and import a base shell into your master classroom, customize the home page, work with a few items on the assignment page within that master classroom, as well as log straight into your MyMathLabs and work with the sandbox. All the things that you can do immediately after you finish training. Then you can join me in part two later on, closer to the start of term, and work with your live course. You have a number of things you need to do to finish and finally publish your live class. Okay, here on my dashboard, I'm going to show you the difference between your master classroom and your live classroom. Depending on what time that you're doing your training or receiving your master classrooms, you may only see your master classroom, and you know it's your master classroom because it says so in the title as well as it's in this master classroom section. What a live classroom will look like, now this is my demo one, so it looks a little bit differently, but a typical live classroom will look very similar to this with the actual course code, the section number that you're teaching, and the term code that this is going to be an active live class. That's what it will look like. But what we're going to work with this video is your master classroom and how to get into this master classroom, the base classroom you need to work with. If you go into it immediately, you'll see it's a blank classroom. There's no content in here nor any students in here. This is your master classroom. All right. What you need to do at this point is to go to the Commons area where we have a base already ready for you to load the content into this classroom. So on the left-hand side here, I'm going to click on Commons. The first time you click on Commons, it's going to ask you about access to your class. But after that, it won't ask you that again. On the left-hand side, you're going to see Mathematics. And in Mathematics, you're going to see several shells here to choose from. Depending on which shell that you need to go into that base classroom, you're going to select that shell. I'm going to select College Level Math. Now over here, I'm going to select my master classroom for this that I'm going to use for demonstration. I check mark it and I click Import into Course. Easy as that. Back to my dashboard, I'm going to locate that master classroom again. This time when I come into it, instead of an empty shell, I'm going to see that there is already a home page ready for me and a couple of modifications that have been made to the course. The first modification that you can make is to click on this edit on this home page. This will give you a content editor. This content editor you can utilize. You can put your own picture in here if you like, or you can leave Ms. Yeager's picture here, but you can import an image. You obviously need to change it to your name. And then any other additional things that you would like to put on this first page, but we do have some set things in here that help the students know what to do and where to go to find various things in the classroom. Now, Ms. Yeager has a login question quiz in here. It's really cute. You can update that to be yours. It's a single question quiz that asks them if they know who their math instructor is, which I find very useful and amusing to have as a quiz. So if you'd like to use that too, you just need to change the name here, and I'll show you where to change the name also on the quiz. Okay, I'm going to click Save, and now I've updated my home page. I'm going to actually go straight to that quiz. I'm going to show that to you next. The thing about it is that quiz section. If you want to keep that quiz, you're going to want to update it with your own information. So I'm going to click on Yeager's login quiz and edit that to be my name instead. So I'm just going to take Yeager out and put Muller's login quiz. You can see it's already a practice quiz. Practice quiz does not go against their grade. And here is the question, and I'm going to edit that question so that my name is the correct answer For this question on who is the course teacher, I need to update this question. Must click this and save the quiz. Now, if I want to preview this, see my handiwork here, I can click preview and see what is your teacher's name in this course, and hopefully at this point they know who is teaching the course. Okay, moving along, I'm going to click on assignments area over here to show you we have already created the assignment groups that you need. One of the things that happens with the import into the shell is this blank assignment. This is a default assignment group that is in all shells. So the first thing you need to do is actually delete this assignment group. So we're going to delete this, and that's going to leave tests, homework, and final exam. Attendance roll is something I'm going to explain in the second video. These are already set up correctly with the correct weights for each group. You may modify exactly how you break up the test in each classroom. That it will be up to you. Right now, we do have these set up. If you need to make a modification, you can edit any of these items to say something different. Different test setup. Maybe you're doing chapters 1, 2, and 3, or just 1, etc., etc. You can change the name of these. This is just a column in the gradebook. So if you need 5 columns for tests, then you're going to add another test here. Call it test 5 or test on chapters 5. Then you can add it, and then you'd have a test for chapter 5. You must publish. If you create a new item, you have to go ahead and publish it. You can push it into a different spot if you need to. Now I've got 5 tests in here that that amounts to 5 columns in the gradebook for me to manually add their grades. Okay, that's all you need to do at this point with your gradebook. I'm going to take you over to the modules. Modules is where you do the blueprint for the classroom, and the only thing that you need to get into from here is My Math Labs. The same thing, the students are going to click on this to access My Math Labs. This is a single sign-in, so when I click on this, it's actually going to load me up into My Math Labs. Now, this, I am not an actual instructor in there, so I'm going to be switching. Here we are in Ms. Yeager's account, and as you can see, she has several classes. She has a couple of sandboxes. You'll be looking for the sandbox for this class. I'm going to click on College Algebra Sandbox. In this sandbox is already, this course already has the assignment set up for you and assigned, but what you can do is at this point, if you want to go ahead and put the due dates, you can set up your calendar and when are these different assignments going to be due. You can come into the course here, into the sandbox, go to Course Tools, and go to Assignment Manager. And on the middle tab here, you're going to be able to change dates and assign status. So when that comes up on the screen, I'll show you that if you'll scroll over a little bit, there is a start date and a due date. So that's the first day that the assignment is open to the student. More importantly is the date that it is due. So if I want to change this due date to be, say, September 4th, I can assign that. I can do that for a number of the courses. If I've already got my calendar worked out, maybe the next one is going to be due September 7th, so forth and so on. So as I do this, I can fill these all in. And when I'm done, I come back to the top and I update all settings or update changes only. Both will work. Okay, so now I've applied that and it'll tell me that updates have been saved. So here we are. I have my dates. Now you can fill that all in. And you can do this at any time before the start of term. Later on, we're going to import this sandbox into a live shell, and I'm going to show you that in the next video. That's all for this video. Join me in part 2. We will continue and talk about importing your master classroom inside of Canvas into your Canvas Live classroom, as well as how to take your My Math Labs Sandbox course and put it into your My Math Labs Live course, as well as working with attendance and how to manually input grades. And last but not least, publish your live course and you're ready to go. All of that will be in part 2.